Hello all, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I really want to talk to you about what are the qualities of a successful graduate student. So I'm actually a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And part of the whole reciprocity project that I'm trying to build is to help out graduate students, particularly those that are interested in behavioral science. You could check out some of the other videos where I put that up. But anyways, so you might be wondering, what are some qualities of a successful graduate student? Most people have this sort of idea that it has to do with intelligence, that it has to do with sort of maybe being, privileged in some sort of way, that it has to do with maybe physical attractiveness, for example, that you're an attractive person and you can get into a graduate school of your choice. That there is all these kind of factors that lots of people sort of think about that are related to getting into graduate school. Maybe you're kind of hip, for example, or maybe you're a giant nerd and you are thinking of going into graduate school. Well, all of this stuff is, to be honest, I don't think it holds true. And I think that those are the wrong sort of qualities that we are looking for, that people look for, in the ones that become successful in the very long run, right? So we're looking at what somebody is going to do going forward, say 20 years from, when they start a graduate program and stuff. And I've had this conversation a lot over the years with different people and different, professors and stuff like that. And there's a pretty strong consensus. None of this is going to be sort of shocking for anybody that's in the field already. But for most people, you might be sort of like, oh, I never even thought about that, right? So the first sort of qualities of a successful graduate student, the first one I think is probably the most important, is just stamina and being able to take one step at a time and moving forward over a course of a long, long time, right? So being able to write X number of words a day, just being able to keep pushing forward. And this is really incredibly important. That's going to make sure that you can actually continue on and get something done. You have to actually be able to write stuff to get things done, or analyze stuff to get things done. The second thing is, and I think this is really important and sort of relates to the first one, is that you have to sort of be able to lose yourself in research. And when everything is just completely falling apart around you, because it is, right? Life's gonna happen, and life is not always positive. In fact, most of the time it's gonna feel kind of negative when you're in graduate school. You don't have any money. You are getting a whole new host of friends. Maybe those friends disappear that you had before. You are going through a lot of life changes. You have to move to a different place. There's lots of stuff. And all of those things are stressors. And stressors can be perceived as negative, right? You're getting all this new knowledge, for example, and it's going to be hard to talk to people sometimes because of this new knowledge. You're going to be kind of nerdy. But, the world is going to feel like it's falling apart around you, but you have to be able to lose yourself in research, even though that is happening, that you can sit down and just have kind of fun with your own thoughts and sort of let your ideas wander and sort of pay attention to what other people are saying and allow that to wander. It's a really important skill, and it is something that's really tricky to do. I think a lot of people sort of miss that sort of component of it. And it's related to this ability to have stamina to continue on and push forward no matter what's happening. And this is kind of related to the third construct and the third idea, and this is delay of gratification, right? So nothing that you do in graduate school is going to net you an immediate gratification. Maybe teaching in the short term is going to allow you to get immediate gratification in the short term, like teaching a course here and there. That's not going to generate any sort of long-term value for you in the sense that the things, how you're actually measured in terms of productivity is what you write and, the ideas that you generate. So you can sort of maybe eventually become an amazing teacher, and that amazing teacher can maybe have, long-term consequences. But in general, most people in graduate school, they actually have to write a lot, and you have to be able to know that the returns that you're getting is not going to happen until maybe 10 years out. maybe even 15, 20 years out in the stuff that you're working on, and just know that the stuff you're working on is going to be valuable. So that's, I mean, the reciprocity project that I'm working on, no returns at all at this right now, complete loss. But I'm hoping in, say, 5-10 years that this will turn into something that's a little bit more viable. It's going to be self-sustaining. It's going to help out people to a large number of degrees, right? Help out graduate students, maybe help out people that are writing, all that kind of stuff. But right now it's not working. But that's okay. That's part of the whole research process, is part of sort of pushing things forward and making sure that, you can continue forward. The other thing that you really need is, and this one's not talked about as enough, but I think an important skill is, or an important quality is, really just being able to be nice. And you don't have to be nice in like, the fakey way, in any sort of way, superficial or anything like that, and be friends with everybody, but be nice in the sense that, in your own quirky way. If you're a complete jerk and you shut people down, then it's not going to benefit you in any sort of way, because this entire career depends on other people believing in you and helping you out, by offering, maybe it's their support. You're going to have to get letters of recommendation at all levels of this particular, going into graduate school, for example. You are going to rely on other people when you're stuck, for example, to get help. So if you sort of shut people down, you are not going to go very far, in the sense that, people are just not going to rely on you in the future, and they're going to be like, I just don't trust that particular person, right? So you have to be very careful about that. And then, the last thing that I think is really important, and sort of the fifth characteristic, it's just really just flexibility. Being able to sort of run with the punches, and it relates to the other ones very much so, that, you're going to encounter all sorts of problems along the way, and you just have to be sort of flexible and say, oh, that didn't work. That is really what happened. And, what do we do now? How do we move forward with this particular thing? And you have to come up with some sort of solution to move forward. In fact, it's a problem-solving career. It's like if you're doing design, for example, or you're doing software development, or you're doing any sort of maybe engineering, it's really just problem-solving. And that's really what you're trying to do when you are an academic, when you're in graduate school. It is really just this focus on problem solving all the way through, and it's very independent, and you are the one that has to solve the problem. The professor, your teachers, your friends, they're not going to solve the problem for you. You have to sit down and solve it. So you have to be very, very flexible and try to figure out how to get a solution. And that's really what we're looking for often. And that's what lots of people sort of might suggest. This is the uncommon view, but a lot of people are going to suggest that's what's going to predict sort of performance in the long run, are those kind of characteristics that kind of hang together, if you think about it, right? That sort of personality that can stick with something, that has grit and can push forward. And as well as, that person that is easy to work with. And the other thing is just being, flexible. So if problems do happen, you have to sort of flip around and go to something else and try that out. So if you like this video, you find it useful, I do put out videos like this all the time. Give me a thumbs up, as well as do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do appreciate that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the next video. All right, take care. Bye.